So I have a few versions of this deck that's going to be in the deck, the replays after this. So I'm going to go over the first one, which is the main premise of this deck. Then I'm going to go over the core of the deck, and then the alternative versions and whatnot. So let's go right into it. So first of all, I'm using Secret Seeker with Card Carmine. It's not important at all. Use my monster cards, use Destiny Draw, use whatever skill you want, whatever skill you're comfortable with, whatever you want to add in after the core. But we're going with Jinzo. It's a lot of a back row heavy meta right now, so Jinzo's a very fun tech to disrupt that. Glow Bulb is one of my tuners. I believe I changed this in other versions of the deck. Sphere Kuriboh. I only have two. It's a dark, it works with Predaplants. Jinzo's a dark, Glow Bulb is not a dark, but it works with it. Skull Meister. I changed this eventually because I open with it way too often. But it is very fun to tech in, maybe as 1. 3 is too many for sure, but it was very fun to start by using 3. But then we got 3 Spino, core part of the deck. 3 Spino, you want that. Okay, that's just important. 3 Sundew, I know a lot of people call them Clammy, I like calling them Sundew. We got 3 Sundew, core part of the deck, don't change the number from 3. This you can change. This is Squid. Not necessarily important. You might want to run him if you're going for my monster cards and you need 5 or 6. I forget. I think it's 6 different names. Squid's a good one just to throw in as one of. Cordyceps, 1, 2, not I don't think 3, but he can recover your monsters. I'll go over all their effects in a second. I'm just going through the whole deck first. 3 Predapractice, main spell of the deck. You probably want 3, maybe 2, but I would go with 3. If you don't have 3 for whatever reason, go for 2, whatever. World Legacy class, because of because of Jinzo, I wasn't running traps in the first version. It kind of sucked. I kind of had some instances where I just had it in my hand and I couldn't do anything with it because of the plays I was making. I eventually changed this to an actual trap, even though I have Jinzo. But yeah, it's fun. You know, it's a quick play. Then we got 2. If you have 3, do it. Of the fusion, I got a Vermilion Dragon Mech, Black Rose Dragon, Brionic, Rosemary. I changed my extra deck quite a bit in the different versions of the deck that I'm going to go through, but so pretty much the idea is you have a Predapractice, you have any of your Predaplants in your hand, you activate Predapractice, search for Sundew if you do not have it, Clammy, whatever you want to call it. Then you can summon on top of the special summon that Predapractice gives you. But the alternative, because everybody expects you to do this, they will wait on their floodgate, they'll wait on the fiendish for Sundew to make an appearance, or they'll wait for Chimera. So because they're gonna wait for the meta players, like the above, like Platinum, Legend, King of Games, probably not even Platinum, but they're gonna wait once they see Predapractice, they're gonna keep their back row if you go second. That's when you special summon, let's say Spino. You put a Predaplant counter on their card, you search for Sundew. They see that you search for Sundew. They're going to wait for Sundew's activation, or they're going to wait for Chimera's activation. You tribute summon Jinzo. They can't do a thing about it. Not a thing. Unless they get a monster that can beat over it, but that's when you set World Legacy Clash to protect it. Or you activate it right away. I don't know why you'd activate it. I guess if you have a second monster, you can activate it. But you wait. Maybe you special summon Cordyceps. Sacrifice for Jinzo. Then you can summon. Cordyceps will allow you to special summon later once it's destroyed. Or if you tribute summoned it, it's in the graveyard. Whatever. Very fun. Skull Meister will help protect against blue eyes, that kind of thing. Or any effects in the graveyard. It's fun to use, but eventually it just loses its purpose. You'll see me use it maybe a few times. We're going to go off to my alternative version. I believe I was using Merrick. So let's look for Merrick really quickly. Did I skip? Oh, I've got 5Ds going on here, that's why. Yep, so I started using a Predaplant Relinquished. I tried with a bunch of different things. I think this is the version I was using. So in it, you'll see a difference. I got, instead of Jinzo, I'm running 2 Relinquished. I'm running pretty much the same stuff except for no Glow Bulb. I'm now using Scapeghost because it's the Dark Tuner instead of an Earth Tuner. I have 2 Black Illusion Rituals and a Karma Cut. It's because I lost to Jinzo. Pretty much everything else is the same. Then I'm running a Millenniumized Restrict and a few different Synchro monsters. And then I was also using another version, which I don't think I show in the video, but I was using it with Yugi. Oh my gosh, where is everything that I'm looking for? Predaplant Jinzo 2. I made a bunch of these decks just to try it out. It's going to be a long video. So here's my second version. I'm using Glow Up Bulb still, but I got rid of one World Legacy Clash for a Treacherous Trap Hole, and I'm running Scapeghost with this, as well as this boy, because you can special summon him with Spinal's Effect. Spinal's Effect, if you don't know. Other than putting a Predator counter on it, which is pretty much the only idea that a lot of people do with it. After damage calculation with card battled and a monster with the equal or lower level, you can special summon a Predaplant monster, including this dude. With 2400 defense, it's just a nice protection. Or maybe an extra card to open with while using my monster cards. So that's pretty much the idea. You're going to want to bait out the Predapractice to get a Jinzo if they go first. Or you want to go into a Sundew and go for Chimera. World Legacy Clash is fun to protect the Chimera, if there's no other way to protect it, because it doesn't have that much protection. A lot of people level attacking the Chimera. Chimera, if you don't know, will reduce their monsters by 1,000 and boost you by 1,000, so that's a 2,000 difference. Really good against a lot of decks. You're going to see a lot of replays doing all this stuff. I hope you enjoy this. You're going to see all the different techs I use and all the different ways I play this deck. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like an anti-meta. I'm probably going to title this kind of clickbaity anti-meta Predaplants. But it really was a disruption. I went 10-0. I'll go over that in a second. And I went to Legend with this very easily. A lot easier than I thought it would be. So this is my 10 win streak in Platinum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as guy named number 9, and 10. That's 10 victories in Platinum. I made all the way to Legend with it. Obviously not with 10 wins. A continuous win streak, I guess. Going second. Alright, so ranking up for going second here. This is within the 10 wins in Platinum. I do go to Legend, and there eventually is Legend replays, but right now it is Platinum. So letting you guys know, he's Jaden sets 2. I draw into a Predapractice, activate it, get Spino out, search for Sundew. Pretty much the ideal play you're going to use this with this deck. Summon Sundew, I get Treacherous, which is lame. So I set up World Legacy Clash and end my turn. There's not that much you can do against it. I get Cyclones, my WLC gets destroyed. He tie that binds with a Cosmo Brain. I go down to 800 life points. I get a second Predapractice. Get to summon Squid, search for a Sundew. I can summon Sundew and then activate his effect in order to fusion summon my Chimera. I can then use Chimera to banish a monster if he was level 7 or lower. He is. And I can also use Squid to reduce him to 1 if he was higher than 7. I kill him, banish him, attack for 25, and then he surrenders. That's it. That's all it takes. You know, you kill the one boss monster with a weird Jaden Blue Eyes deck, and that's it. Game over. Next up, I get to go first. Show you guys what happens if you go first with the Predaplant deck, which isn't always the best. Look at this great mat, though. The not the most recent, the most recent is the Agami, but the DD Castle event, such a good mat. That Vampire's Domain looks so cool. I love it. Anyways, summon, use Predapractice, get Spino, get Sundew, get Chimera from the hand using Cordyceps, pass. Solid, decent field, not perfect. He uses Dwarf Star. Dwarf Star will search for an Odd-Eyes Saber Dragon. So this is an Odd-Eyes. This is, Odd-Eyes deck is a little bit newer. The new mini box hadn't come out yet, so it's kind of the newer, not newest, but newer box of cards. So he econs my Chimera, but I can still attack for 1800 with Spino. He summons, what's the call? I know what that card is. I have it favorited because I used to fool around with it. Bylon Prism on his Odd-Eyes Saber. I get to use Skull Meister from the hand, negate the Prism. He doesn't get that boost. Attacks me for 1,000. Saber Dragon will then pop my Chimera. I use Cordyceps in the beginning of my standby to resummon Sundew, resummon Spino. Spino will reduce him to level 1, and then I can use Sundew with the counter on his card to fusion summon like a Super Poly Chimera for lethal. So yeah, I forgot to mention in the deck like overview that Chimera or Spino putting a Predaplant counter. I'm rolling over every word. Sundew can use it like a Super Poly on any Predaplant counter card, which is probably like the best gimmick that this deck has, is like a built-in Super Poly, which is rare in Duel Links because the only Super Poly we have is the skill that Jaden Ubel has. So next we're going against a Nishizu Balance. I get a kind of subpar opening hand, especially for turn 1. So what I do is I just summon Spino and set Royal Legacy class to protect it. He uses Necro Valley. So this is why I use Secret Seeker in Platinum, because in Platinum a lot of people like setting cards in defense mode, whether that be Blue Eyes, whether that be Gravekeepers. I didn't really run into that many Gravekeepers, but Secret Seeker, you can see what it is. So I go, okay, that's not a guard. I know that I'm not going to get set back to my hands, so I summon Chimera. Chimera attacks. I know he's going to boost up to 2500. I play Gravekeepers a lot. He summons Nobleman. That's okay. I attack into Nobleman. Nobleman will then let me will let him special summon a monster, and my Spino will let me special summon a monster. Jeez. And I can see what it is. I just want to make sure it's not guard, so I don't get returned to the hand. That's the problem. So I use the Descendant, pops my Chimera, but I World Legacy class because I set down first turn to protect my Chimera and reduce him to 0. He flips up the Spiritualist, uses Throne to search for another Descendant. Descendant can come on the field, pop my Spino, attack. I Sphere Kuriboh him. He could have Fusion summoned with Spiritualist, so I don't know why I didn't do that, but my class comes back. I have Chimera. Chimera can then banish Spiritualist because that's the biggest threat. I summon Spino. Spino will reduce him to a level 1. I can attack and boost to 3500. So I can attack for 1800, but he uses Red Spirit. Red Spirit will then bring back Descendant, which I cannot beat over with Spino. So he gets 1 card left, it's a Spy, so that he can summon it face up and banish or destroy with Descendant rather than setting face down to flip over. So I get Sundew on the field now, so I can go into Spino. Spino will let me put a counter on Descendant. I can then use Sundew and Descendant to make Chimera. With 25 with 18, he surrenders. Alright, so when I gain a rank against Chaz, this is, I believe, the 4th duel. I start with pretty much the worst hand you can start with, a Glow Bulb, Sphere Kuriboh, and 2 Predapractice. But luckily I go into a Spino, so I get to use Predapractice on his 2 face down, summon Spino, search for Clammy. Still don't have the Jinzo plays yet because I only have 1 Jinzo. Summon Glow Bulb. Forgot that I could not special summon except for fusion summoning when I use Predapractice, so it's my bad. I get attacked into, but I luckily get to use Sphere Kuriboh. He's using a stall deck with Chaz, which is weird because this is before Star Blast, I believe, was in the game. So this is 2 events ago. Wow, this is old replays. So I summon Rosemary with Glow Bulb, and I got Jinzo now, so Jinzo can pretty much prevent every single one of his trap cards, which is his whole deck, which is great. It made me feel so good to see that he was using a trap deck, and I ripped into Jinzo. I get Chimera, I got Rosemary, I got Jinzo. He can't do a single thing except for Kite Roid. So that's okay. He Kite Roids, I attack, I go for 25. He's got pretty much nothing he can do. My Rosemary boosts up my Chimera, and then he surrenders. Actually, he throws his phone out the window? I don't know. His connection failed. So going up, we got the 9th victory in a row in my win streak. This is number 9. Literally, his name is 9. That's very coincidental, very ironic. He's using a cool Mission Circuit mat. I'm using my cool DD Castle. He sets and pass, so I summon Sundew. Use Secret Seeker to see what he's got face down there. It is a Super Heavy Samurai, which I really do not want to play against because I hate Super Heavy Samurai with a burning passion. I made a video, nobody watched it, I guess everybody hates it as much as I do. So attacking the Flutist, whatever. I just made it very happy that it wasn't the gloves. So Secret Seeker again, see what it is. Look at that, it's a Giga Gloves. That's what I don't want to see. I do not want to deal with Giga Gloves. I attack into it anyways, whatever. I know I have to deal with it eventually, so I might as well just get it over with now. I attack into it right away. Skull Meister it, because I got Skull Meister hit for 2500. That's the good thing about Skull Meister. You want to do it for this. It's just a fun tech. I have 3, like I said before. I don't want 3. 3's too many. But 1 or 2 is very fun for that exact thing. Maybe you fight a Super Heavy Samurai. They're not really prevalent in Legend, but you never know. It could happen. Skull Meister's good for Blue Eyes, so I think I have a Blue Eyes replay coming up. So I get to attack and whatever, he's dead. I negated stuff. Boring. Super Heavy Samurai, normally either stall or OTK. So here is Seto Kaiba. I just mentioned a second ago that we're going to see a replay against Blue Eyes. Here it is. He's using a really cool red mat that blends in with my red mat. He's using Ultimate Dragons, which makes sense. And I get to open with Skull Meister. The one good thing about running 3 Skull Meister is you're probably going to open with it. So in this case, it was nice to see because I can negate a Whitestone of Ancients or something of the sorts. So I get to go into a Chimera right away. I got Skull Meister, I got Sphere Kuriboh. I feel safe at this point in order to summon him. He uses a Maiden and Sage combo in order to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon right off the first turn, and it should be opening up with the second Blue Eyes, I believe, or Spirit. Okay, so it's 2 Blue Eyes right away. Makes sense. He's probably going to go into a Twin Burst. So this is early on when Twin Burst was like not really recently added, but I forgot what it's affected. So I let him attack into me, lose life points, and he banished me. So that was a mistake on my end. Whatever. He attacks. Sphere Kuriboh. I can't really do anything. I'm holding onto the Predapractice, waiting for another Predaplant. There it is. Get to summon Spino with the Predapractice and search for Sundew. I can then use Spino's effect in order to put a Predaplant counter on him, bringing him to 1. That way Sundew can pop him for my own Chimera. Then I can go for lethal with 25 and 18, but he used a draining shield on my Chimera. He gains 2,500 life points. Big deal. I attack for 18. He goes back to 3,200. He's got 2 face down now. I got a Skull Meister in hand, so I summon Jinzo, negating all traps, but he's got an Econ, of course. So attack for 24. He's still alive. He Econ my Chimera. He pulls into nothing. That's it. And a Blue Eyes. Next up, we got Maximilian Pegasus. I get to win and get to rank up. Pretty decent stuff. I believe I'm getting close to Legend at this point. So I open with 2 Spinos, World Legacy class, and Sphere Kuriboh. He is using a Polymerization Blaze Man. What's his name? Elemental Hero something. Anyways, I summon Spino. Spino will put a Predaplant counter on him, but I don't care. I'm just going to attack him for 600 damage. Not a big deal. Then I can special summon a Cordyceps off of that attack because he was level 4 or lower. So I end my turn on that. He does nothing. This is pretty boring. So activate Predapractice. I get to summon Spino, search for a Sundew. Kind of does nothing because I just have a full field. I can't really do anything. Attack for 18. He's got a Kite. Attack for 18. He uses Kite again. Super boring. I don't know why this replay's in. Is there anything interesting in this replay? He uses a Polymerization. Okay, this might be it. Alright. Dark Cavalry. Here we go. Dark Cavalry. World Legacy Clash right off that. He's got 2 cards in his hand. I know he's going to negate. I want him to negate. And negate World Legacy Clash. Summon or activate the other card. It is a Magicalized Fusion. Magicalized Fusion will be able to summon another Dark Cavalry. 2 Dark Cavalry in the field. He attacks. I Sphere Kuriboh him. He cannot negate that because he already got rid of a card. That's why I wanted to negate the World Legacy. I summon Sundew. Sundew will then use Sundew and Cordyceps to summon Chimera. Because he's got no cards in his hand, I can use my effect. I could have banished him, but he was level 8, which is higher than level 7, so I cannot banish him. So he attacks into me. I reduce him down. He destroys himself because he's a big dum-dum and he doesn't have a card in his hand or anything. He didn't read. Attack for 18. He's out. Look at 2 Cavalry. Gone. Because the guy's a dum-dum. Don't be a dum-dum. Next up, we're finally changing character because I decided to mess around with a different character. He was newer to the game, so I wanted to use him. Get some skills going. Not important to the video. I just want to mention that I do notice that there was a change. So we got a Dark Magician deck going on here. I summon Sundew. He navigates right off the Sundew. Right off the bat. Just wants to destroy Sundew. He knows what's coming. Goes to banish Sundew. Sundew is about to get banished. Our World Legacy Clash. Save Sundew. Reduce Dark Magician to 1900. Not a big deal. End my turn. He he used Dark Magical Circle to search for another navigation. It's okay. He's got a negate already. Attacks with 19 to my Sundew. Attacks with 21. I go down 600 life points. I rip into Skull Meister. Summon Sundew. Sundew will use his effect off of Squid to summon Chimera. Chimera can then activate his effect because they're both level 7 to banish the other illusion. Attack into Rex. I got way lower life points. His Titan Showdown activates, giving me double damage or triple whatever the damage is, and then destroys him. So the Titan Showdown really backfired on him. Really bad. That's awesome. That was really good. That was a fun replay to replay. Fun replay to replay. That makes sense, right? Okay, up next I get to rank up if I win. I believe this is in Legend now. I don't know if I am right or wrong. I could be completely wrong. So I summon Spino. Set World Legacy Clash. Pretty boring first turn, but that's what you gotta do to survive sometimes. He summons a Magician's Rod. This is a second Dark Magician deck. He gets Dark Magical Circle. Dark Magical Circle will then let him look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Add a Dark Magician card. It is a navigation. He adds navigation to a hand. This is before the nerf or right after the nerf. I think it was after the nerf. So Rod is at 2. I summon Sundew. Use Squid and Sundew in order to get a Chimera. Chimera will then have the ability to banish Rod. Rod is banished. So I attack into navigation. Navigation will be able to summon Dark Magician and probably Illusion, if I had to guess, and then banish my Chimera. So there's a Dark Magician. Oh, he's summoning 2 Dark Magicians instead of an Illusion. That's interesting. Oh, an OG Dark Magician. Dark Magician will then banish my Chimera, but I will banish my Chimera first and then reduce his Dark Magician, the OG, just because it's OG, to 0. Attack into it. Spino, bring back my Chimera at the end of the turn. He attacks into Chimera, can't read, reduces himself, loses 2,000 life points because he's a dum-dum, and then he surrenders because he's a dum-dum. Sorry, man. Sorry, my harmonica prevails. Okay, then we're playing Yami Merrick. This is the last video, or the last replay, I believe. I was using Relinquished just to fool around, also looking for skills. His skill that I was using is not important. I was just playing around, looking to farm skills, using Life Boost A just to have a little edge. I was looking for that Shadow Game 1. I don't have it. And everybody was saying how great it is for like stall decks and stuff. I just wanted to have it just to mess around for a video. Anyways, we're going against Shiranui, using Level Og on a Gazuki, while using Level Og with Gazuki to make a Sun Saga off of turn 1 instead of going into the whole Synchro staircase to Song Saga. He skips it all, sets a card. I get to summon a Sundew. Sundew will then activate with Cordyceps to make a Chimera. Chimera cannot banish that Sun Saga, so I end my turn. With all the doo-doo heads going around, I thought maybe he'll attack into me. He summons an Invoker, an Alistair, gets Invocation, goes into a Purgatrio because that's pretty much all you can run with Invoker and Shiranui. Squire will then use his effect, sets another card. He doesn't attack because I guess he's not that dumb, but I get to banish his Purgatrio because it's level 7 or lower. I summon Sundew, get Spino because it's a Predapractice, special summon. Then I summon Spino, put a counter on Sun Saga, use Sundew with the counter in order to summon a second Chimera. This is why you want more than one if you don't have more than one. So I got 2 Chimeras on the field and a Spino. I attack into a wall of D. Big problem. This is why I run Jinzo. Go down to 100. So I attack with 2 100s. I could die right now, but I got a Sphere Kuriboh in hand, which is super awesome. You should definitely have Sphere Kuriboh when you're running this deck because there's a lot of protection needed. So it's kind of fragile of a deck. Anyways, he gets Invoker back. He gets Alistair, I mean. He has another Shiranui on the field. He gets Alistair on the field. He searches for another Invocation. He's got the... I don't even remember what that Shiranui is called. He sets a card, attacks into it, he gets reduced, doesn't matter, still destroys me. Attacks into my Spino. Spino will get to summon a Sundew because Alistair is level 4. So then I get Chimera. I can banish any card. I choose Samurai Saga. Samurai Saga card changes effect to banish Squire. I believe that was Squire. Squire goes back into the deck. I don't remember. I can't realize what he did. He uses effect. Whatever. So I summon Scapeghost. Scapeghost will then I can synchro summon with Chimera and Scapeghost to get Stardust Spark Dragon. Stardust Spark Dragon will protect my Sundew from a damage or from anything that I need to protect him from. I do not have a third Chimera, but I'm kind of like baiting him on that I do have a third Chimera. That's why I'm doing this. So he's got Gazuki and Spectral Sword. I can't do anything. I don't want to attack into another wall of D, so I do not do anything. I Spark Dragon to protect Sundew. Again, I'm trying to like do a long con of him thinking, hoping that I have another Chimera. So I'm just kind of like baiting him out. I attack into it. You know, I'm like, whatever. Maybe he doesn't have another wall of D, so I attack in. He doesn't have a wall of D. He Forbidden Chalice, Forbidden Lance. I can't really remember. So then I get to Sundew off of the Relinquished, so I finally pull again Millenniumize Restrict. Millenniumize Restrict then gets Floodgated, which really sucks because I wanted to use his effect for a video. But, you know, I summoned him. There he is. So then I tribute sorry, I don't do it. He Lava Golems me. So I Cordyceps on my standby phase. I get Spino, I get Sundew. Spino will then put a counter on Gazuki. And then, you know, again, baiting that I have something. I lose 1,000. I attack into him with Spino, attack in for 3,000 with Lava Golem for lethal on his own summon monster. So, those are my replays. That is it. I used a lot of different versions. Jinzo's my favorite. Relinquished was just like a fan favorite from. I just love Relinquished in general. In the TCG, he sucks in everything, but I like just using him and stuff. And yeah, this was a super long video. I hope you enjoy it. Longest video I'm going to do. Probably never going to do another long video like that. I love Predaplants. Subscribe. Bye.